Hello everybody, my name is Alan from Sauber-Lab and today we'll show my setup 2025. Basically I will go for all my setup, all the hardware that I have and explain why I use it and if it's worth to still use it or not and if I would like to change for another option. In this video I'll only focus in the control panels for each application, each hardware that I have. I will not go and show physically this because it's a little bit mess, it's not great how it's set up. So I will not show. Once that I set up properly and have a properly rack and everything, then potentially we'll show how it's the end game. But so far I will only show the panel for each application or each system. So if you like this idea and want to learn a little bit more about it, we're going to show in this video. But first of all, don't forget to leave a like. Consider subscribe for the channel if you're not subscribed yet, and let's understand a little bit more about it. As I told, in this video we're going to explain a little bit more about my setup 2025. And then I go why I decided to use this setup and what make my decision. First thing, more important in my opinion, it's my network. My network will make sure that all the information between myself and my computer will run smoothly, fast, and will have less latency and net will not drop so often. But in the past I used to use my normal router for my ISP. So my internet provider gave the router, I was using it and let's say working well, but I was not feeling safe. Why I say that's not feeling safe? Those routers is the simplest one because they will give for free, they will work, but you have a limited speed, you have a limited applications that you can set up. Basically they will connect, will have Wi-Fi that will connect, they will select the IPs, they will generate the IP for each machine and will allow you to open some ports or not, and that's it. Basically you cannot do anything else in relationship of this router. And because I wanted to run a lot of applications, open ports, manage different things, this was not fit or was not give all my needs. So then I decided to go for unified Dream Machine. When I decided to go to do this upgrade, I decided to buy it, and of course was much more expensive or were more expensive than the free router. Anything that is more than free, it's more expensive. Anyway, I decided to buy this one and I bought around 2019, just before COVID, and since then I still have exactly the same. And why it's really interesting to use this? Because they work really well, they protect your network, and then you make sure that all your configurations there. So let me go for here. If you guys come here in my network or my screen, here it's my router. It's already 3 weeks on. I don't switch so often. Sometimes I need to do it, but I don't switch so often. Here will be my external IP address, my internal IP address, my provider. I use Vodafone. Here will be my activities and my speed, last time tested. This router work well, but I needed to add some extra access point. Why I need to add those access point? Basically, this router is the first floor and I am here in the second floor. Once that, when I move for this house, I put a laminate flooring, and before I put laminate flooring, I put a properly insulate or anti-acoustic material, and that's it's with metal foil. Because of that metal foil all around the house become kind of signal blocker or Faraday gauge, and that the signal downstairs don't work so well here upstairs, and outside from my house as well don't work so well. So I decided to have 2 access points. I could add as many as I want, but I don't want to add too much, otherwise then the frequency will start to disturb each other. Anyway, I have 2 access points, one that's located in the second floor or the first floor, and the second one will be in the garage. This one in the first floor, it's make sure that if I'm using downstairs, they will connect for the router downstairs, and if I go upstairs, they will connect for the router upstairs. And basically unify, make it really simple, really well, and you never have a problem. Basically all the time that you move and one signal is a little bit stronger than the other, they will be out switch, seamless, you're not gonna feel this change. And also if you look, those channels is a little bit different. So the auto tuning, or at least I set for auto tune my ports or my channels, and in this way one channel will not affect the other channel, so always will be maximum speed. At the moment this is access point the classic one Pro, what it's only Wi-Fi 5, and maybe I should upgrade it, but for my needs I don't need it. So they will connect up to 300 megabytes per second using the Wi-Fi. I don't need to make it more. Potentially in the future, yes, I want to get Wi-Fi 7 or maybe Wi-Fi 8 and use at least all my speed directly in the Wi-Fi, but I don't need to do it. Other thing that's really good is this page. So if I go for all device, I can see all device, I can click and see all the information, what's the connection, what's the MAC address, IP address, I can see where they are connected. One of the advantages for it, I can create different VLANs. So I have one VLAN for some applications, I have other VLANs for some appliance, let's say smart appliance, and I have other VLANs for, let's say, phones, watches and everything. So they will not connect each other, and will make sure that this VLAN is locked and will not receive this connection unless I set up to do it. And here will be my cable, everything that's connected to my switch. And I can define different VLANs specific for a device. So if I click here, here's my camera. If I set up, I can set up what VLAN, what restrictions, and if I want to make some traffic control. Let's say that I want that this camera only have internal access, not external access, so I'll restrict all the external access. Here as well, I can see all the ports that connect. If I wanted to have a specific VLAN, I can set up here. Here I can set up the radius, and here inside will be all the network connections. So here I can see how much traffic I have and which, let's say, application or each device use most of the network. And here will be how much of band or how much speed. Sometimes they will have a little bit peak, what in this case was around 500 megabps, but most of the time it's a little bit lower. I can see more information, I can see how many devices connect for each network, I can see network, VPNs and all the status here. Also, if I need, I can configure it, and one thing that's really important, really good for me is this part of security. What I can connect or allowed in and out, depend what kind of user or depend of kind of setup that I want. I can block some internet access. So what I had in the past is all those different IP address try to connect for my network once that I have some port open. If they try to do some ping or try to DNS my system, they will just drop and block the internet or connection. So in this way my system will not overload unless I really need to use it. They will not be ping all the time, they will just block the IP address. Also I can set up some basic protections, what I can do some intelligent. In my case I put auto, and that there will be intrusion prevention on. What if they have some intrusion that try to ping or try to access some application, unless I allowed it, they will be blocking. Connection for some specific geolocations, what is quite usable. So in this way I have my network, and here all my this device and all my systems connected. The next stage will be my main server. My main server, if I open here, it's my Synology NAS. If I look, let me close this page. Here's my Synology NAS. This Synology NAS is the SM920. You're gonna ask, Alan, it's quite old, we are in 2025, why we still have the 920 considering that you already have 923? Because I don't need to upgrade. I don't need to have more. Basically, this Synology NAS I use for photos that work really well. I use for my network attached in my network. I use VPN. I use for my Plex media, what I configure radar, sonar, overseas, and that they will manage all my media. And because I normally watch and that I don't need to rewatch and keep this data anymore, so they will clean up my system, and that's always have a little bit storage. Of course, at the moment I don't have so much storage. If I open here, I have around 2 terabytes of storage, and the rest of the space is used. I can clean up a little bit the system because I have lots of unnecessary things, but so far I don't need to do anything because it's, let's say, just enough. One thing that I did that was really good upgrade will be these SSDs for cache. I have basically two SSDs, exactly the same, only focused for written cache, and that so far they work well. They copy all the data really fast, and that's after, with time, they will copy all the rest of the data in my hard drives. Yes, potentially I could go full SSD, but I don't need so much speed, and the cost to make, let's say, 12 terabytes or 10 terabytes space only with SSD will cost much more compared for, let's say, 4 hard drives. Of course, the limitation that I have is the Plex. If I want to transcription some video or some media, they will struggling a lot to do it. Normally I have my media in 4K or 1080p, most of them 1080p, because I cannot see so much the difference. Most of the videos it's look like watch it, it's not cinema, close all the lights and continue on. So direct transmission work really well as well. I have one server, but this don't mean that I'm safe. No, this reason that I have my second one. This second one will be my open media valve. What it's basically, they turn on, backup, turn off. You're gonna ask, Alan, why open media valve? Why not run NAS? Basically, I could run it, but I don't need. I have enough RAM memory. I have 16 gigabytes, so will not be a problem. But I will not use all this application for TrueNAS. I will not need to do a zip pull. I will not need to do all the configuration that TrueNAS offer me. So Open Media Valve work is light, start fast, turn off fast. I don't have issues. They upload. It's already a few months or few years that is running with the same system. They run revision 7. Since that they released this revision as official, I download it, I set up it, and that is still running. Before it was revision 6, and I don't have any problem. You're gonna ask, Alan, you intend to change the server? My answer is yes. In the future, what I'm gonna do is this knowledge now at some point will be a little bit old. What I'm gonna do, I'll look like put aside this one and make my new backup server, and that I will get a new one only to run with the new applications, new things. So far these ones work, so I don't need to do an upgrade, and so far this one it's work as well. I don't need to do any upgrade. Only problem that this is quite old, take a little bit longer, and if you backup Synology NAS and Synology NAS, they work a little bit better, have a better view, better information. So potentially this one will be a little bit advanced, only for the practicity, not necessary that I really need to do it. As I told, my Unify, 6 years, is still working, no problem, all the updates, everything is working well. My Synology NAS, let's say 4 years, 5 years, is still working, no problem, no need to upgrade. And this is my backup machine as well, no need to upgrade. Potentially only my hard drive some point I will need to change, but because this one only do backup, I don't need to stress myself so much. Let's say these hard drives use 8 hours a week. After 1 year will be nothing compare how much they could do. Of course the writing is a little bit high because they will do reading all the information, backup everything, but I don't need to worry so much. My last hardware that's connect, it's my home system. Here if I come settings, system and hardware, I have my Raspberry Pi 4. This Raspberry Pi 4 have my home system that manage all my house, my lamps, my temperature, my thermostat, everything it's work here. And also they use Grafeno or Influx to do all the copy of the information, writing information, and that I have some statistics. Let's say I use more energy this time, or is using more light and heating more, and continue on. You're gonna ask, I need to update this? No, I don't need to update it. I know that I have already the Raspberry Pi 5. I could potentially just install it, but I don't need to do it, because if you look, maximum of capacity is 10%, normally state 6, 4, 5. My processor power is not close for 100%, and my RAM memory is not close for 100%. So I will only upgrade it or only change once that my Raspberry Pi is there to run always for 6-7%, and then I say yes, it's going to close for the bottleneck, let's upgrade it. One thing that I did that was the best thing that I did is to replace the SD card to a SSD. The reliability and the speed is going a little bit more. Of course, a good SD run quite well, but SSD will have a high speed, they will be really reliable, and I always do backup for my data. But this SSD makes sure that my system don't break so easy. So basically this is my system. Then after this one we'll have a lots of different devices. I will have smart lights, I will have different things running different configurations. All my smart device I try to get Zigbee because I don't want to connect everything from my Wi-Fi, and that they will have their own gateways, different frequencies, and they will run only themselves. The same thing for all my sensors that I have in the house. I have Zigbee or Z-Wave for my sensors, for movement sensors, and that's all the rest is Zigbee, and that some applications, some smart dispositive will be Wi-Fi. So in this way, I arrive in the end of the video. I explain a little bit more about my setup. At the moment I don't intend to upgrade anything or to change anything because they just work. If you wanted to do something similar, think about what's your requirement. Don't try to overspend money to buy something really powerful unless you really need it. Start simple, and that's you start to upgrade accordingly what you need. As I comment, that's a computer that's run OpenMediaVault was initially my server, and I decided to change it for a different system, not more powerful but more power efficient. So guys, I hope that you like this video. If you like this video and think that was interesting, please don't forget to leave a like, consider subscribe for the channel if you're not subscribed yet, and see you next time.